Hi, this is Nicky Billou from the Uber Connecting Program. And today's topic is, how do I make more connections? Great question. Wow, what a multi-layered question with some multi-layered answers. The answer is really, really simple. To make more connections, you gotta become a connector. You've gotta be willing to connect people together. First, take stock of all the connections you have. Well, what's a connections, you ask? A connection, really simple. It's someone who knows you, whom you know, and you have something in common with. So for example, if you pick up the phone and call them, they will know who you are. They'll go, oh yeah, that's Jim Smith. Jim Smith is a contractor. Of course I know who he is. So first you gotta get a list of all your connections. Next, you gotta call from that list your Uber connections, your most powerful, best connections. Once you get your Uber connections out, these are the people whose lives you've enriched, whose businesses you've enriched, and or they've enriched your life, they've enriched your business. You've got values in common with these people. These are important people to you. And then you gotta get that list going. Once you get that list going, you gotta think about who you know that you could connect with them. Who do they need to meet that's in your sphere of connections? And some of the people on your list of Uber connectors should be connected together. Well, here's this. An Uber connector is somebody who can see that the best connections they have are likely going to know people just like them. So they're going to give you a whole bunch of great new connections. Next, you got to think of a great way to introduce them. You can't just say, Sarah, it's Jim. Jim, this is Sarah. Sarah's a chiropractor. Jim's a contractor. You two should meet. That's nice. They're not going to really be that interested in connecting with each other. But if this is how you connect them together, if you say, Sarah, this is Jim. Jim is one of the finest men I know. Jim's got integrity. Jim's someone who always keeps his word. And in 2015, that's incredible. And by the way, he happens to be one of the best darn contractors around. He's an incredible human being. You really need to meet Jim. And Jim, this is Sarah. Sarah is an incredible woman. Sarah is kind, warm, giving. Sarah happens to be one of the greatest chiropractors in the universe. You gotta meet Sarah. Well, look, Jim and Sarah, in this case, are going to be excited to meet each other. Even if Sarah doesn't need a contractor and Jim doesn't need a chiropractor, the way you've introduced them, the way you've edified them is going to get them excited about connecting. Once you've done that, you got to start connecting these folks together. And then once you've connected them with somebody else, you got to call them up and say, listen, I love you. You're incredible. You're important to me. You're somebody who's enriched my life in this way, this way, and this way. I want to know more people like Jim. I want to know more people like Sarah. And then you give them the connection that you're going to make to them, and you ask them to make one in return. And they're all going to make those connections, and you'll double the number of Uber connections you have. Phenomenal way to get your connections up. Thanks very much for watching.